What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video today, and today we're going to be talking about everything Halo in the recent news the past couple weeks about 343 getting rebranded to Halo Studios, and will this actually make a difference going forward into the Halo franchise? Let's get into it. So 343 made an announcement called New Dawn. And essentially what this is the studio's getting gutted from its executive to some of its higher level talent and being replaced with new talent and getting rebranded to Halo Studios. Also, the big announcement of them moving away from their own proprietary Slipspace engine to the Unreal 5 engine. I believe a lot of this is due to the pressure from Microsoft to make sure that the next Halo game and whatever side spin-off iteration they want to make is a home run. In a way, I believe this is going to be a big, fresh reboot for not just the studio, but also for the franchise as a whole. So for a little bit of context and background information, for those of you who don't already know, which you probably do by now, but over the past few years, essentially the higher ups at 343, now Halo Studios, wanted to create a thing called created this program called Project Foundry. And essentially what this was a process of creating and transferring assets and biomes and environments from the Slipspace engine to the Unreal Engine 5. In preparation for a potential move, they essentially wanted to see if it was going to be possible, how would it look, how well would the process be before they fully commit to making that switch to Unreal 5. And from what they've seen, it was successful essentially. Now, how does this fit into the larger picture in terms of the franchise going forward? And not just the franchise, but maybe just, I think, because anything that Halo does or anything that Microsoft does, this is going to shake up the industry as a whole in the gaming sphere. And this seems to be a trend that not just single A and double A studios are making, but now we're starting to see the likes of AAA studios going to UE5 and getting away from their own custom engine, because we've seen it from the likes of Battlefield 2042 and a couple other projects in Ubisoft where it seems like they're having trouble with their engine, which is in results related to them delaying content, having a hard time teaching new talent to create and develop games and create new content for whatever studio that is. And everybody knows, who was a Halo fan or hopped into Halo for the first time in a long time with Infinite came in, a lot of people enjoyed the gameplay for the most part. Obviously you're going to have your critics, but for the most part a lot of people enjoyed the actual gameplay loop, the FPS controller, everything about the game felt good. It was just the lack of content. It was just a couple game modes, not a lot of maps, not a lot of guns. It got really tiresome really quickly, and a lot of that seemed to be due with the struggles that they were having with the Slipspace engine. So going to UE5, I think it's the hopes that of being able to easily onboard and bring on new talent who have experience with that engine, because right now, let's face it, it is probably the most popular engine in the world being used by developers, and it's less resources having to be put into making your own engine, because you're essentially hiring a whole other team, whole other processes, directors, all this stuff to just manage the creation of an engine and updating it. And when you eliminate that, it's going to free up a lot of resources and time that can now be put towards creating more content. And also, in terms of, for the developer's sake, more support, optimization, things can be a little bit more streamlined when now you don't have to custom create all this stuff because you have this new engine, which technically was supposed to be fixed when they were switching from the previous engine, I'm drawing a blank on the name, to now the Slipspace engine after Halo 5 into Infinite. But like I said, there is a lot of hope in the sense that, at least from them, coming from them in the words that are coming out of their mouth, that this should help further creating more content and making things a little better in terms for the consumer. I hope whoever they decide to bring in to fill those managing roles can help point this game in the right direction, because Lord knows it's been an uphill battle for Halo fans for, let's say, honestly, just over 10 years of games that feel like they have the potential to be something but can't really grow into anything that it should be. And ever since 343 took over the Halo franchise, it just hasn't necessarily been the same. And obviously the hate has never been higher for 343 since until now. So I think it made sense from a business standpoint to kind of rebrand, refresh, re-gut it out, start over again. At the end of the day, it is still 343, so I do have my worries, but I also think there is a potential there if they can hire in and bring in the right people and kind of polish this turd that was 343 for a while there. It could help turn around the franchise. Now, from what I'm seeing, a lot of people in the community are kind of like, let's prove it to me. You know, people who have been nonstop playing every single Halo game, still plays it to this day, every single day or every week it is a primary game. I think a lot of people they don't want to get excited because obviously we've been burned before with the previous, because we've heard this all before when they switched to the Slipspace engine, like, oh, this is going to be better, this is going to be that, and it ended up being honestly probably worse. So I would say a lot of people are kind of in this cautiously optimistic, or more so just like, I'm not going to feel any sort of way until you prove it to me. Now, I will say from some of the footage that they showed us in the trailer, the environments do look beautiful, but it is what you come to expect from UE5 nowadays. We've seen these demos countless times. Even if you go to the Unreal Engine 5 store in the marketplace, you see these amazing assets with nothing on it. So honestly, seeing this, while it looks great, it looks better. It honestly does look much more improved from the Slipspace engine, even though I thought from what I saw from Halo Infinite, it did look a little dated. This is a nice look going forward, and I'm hoping that whatever the next project is, we should see a big graphical improvement, because everybody knows the fiasco that happened when they first announced Halo Infinite, and then they had to delay the game an entire year because everybody trashed it for not looking that good. So, but I will say it was nice to see the different environments that they showed off, things with the flood or in the snow, and not just that. They mentioned like the Pacific Northwest look that we saw all over Halo Infinite. That was pretty much all the same. So it was kind of nice to see the different environments, and hopefully whatever next iteration that comes to Halo, we are going to see more of that. Now, as terms of, they haven't talked much about the actual game itself, but obviously there's been a lot of rumors coming around, like it might be on PlayStation, and we'll see. I feel like Microsoft is leaning towards that aspect of getting away from this idea of exclusives. Actually, as of recording this video today, Death Stranding, a PS5 exclusive, is now on the Xbox Series X, which is crazy. So it looks like we're probably starting to reach that breaking point of having no more exclusives and everything just kind of being cross-platform, released on all platforms, at least ones that can handle it, unlike the Switch or something like that. And to me, and as for all gamers, I think that's great. And obviously we're getting to a point where console sales don't really mean as much. It's all about selling games. So do you really want to, if you're not making that much of a profit on your consoles, it makes the most sense to just, let's try to sell this game on many platforms as we can. Now, for how I feel about all this news and everything coming out about the Halo Studios and all this, I'm in the cautiously optimistic camp. I'm kind of in a wait and see. You know, like I said, they were supposed to fix a lot of these issues when they switched to the Slipspace engine. Now, I do think it's different this time because it is UE5, and it's a little bit more of an established engine. You are easier to bring on more people. You are creating a system where you don't need to build out this entire subset of your development studio to maintain and update this engine, so you can put more resources into just creating more content. So I do think that is great. Now, as for my expectations for whatever comes out, I do expect more games to come out. I think there's going to be more spin-offs. I think this is going to open up the door to create more content as a whole, not just for the main base game, but just for these, like whatever the next Halo Wars might be, or another ODST hypothetically. I think they're aiming to do that because they know, they see what Call of Duty's doing, and obviously they want to try to replicate that. Now, obviously, will the gunplay be good? Who knows? No one's going to know right now. Obviously, we'll see once they actually show gameplay footage and they show an actual trailer of what's happening. I do think they're going to play it safe, and they're going to keep it relatively very similar to Infinite, because that seems to be kind of that good middle ground to where we're at now in modern day shooters, but staying true to like what Halo is. So I don't think they're going to be too ambitious in terms of adding crazy things, because right now I think they just need a win. They need a good game, and that's all I think they need at this moment. And then you can go for your Hail Marys on these spin-offs and these secondary games that they want to create. But let me know what you guys think in the bottom down below. Are you guys optimistic about this? Are you more so wait and prove it to me? Or are you just absolutely pumped? Do you think this is going to work out? I think I kind of have a feeling of what you guys are going to say, but let me know down below. like I said, I'm in the wait and see. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think this could potentially be, I think this is a good move forward at least. Now it's just hope they can actually execute on what's next. But if you guys are interested in content just like this and want to talk about news and gaming updates and reviews and anything of the gaming industry, please feel free to like and subscribe to the content, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.